Good morning, guys. This is Jared, Triple D Farms, Triple D Maple, Triple D Cabins. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and so you can stay tuned for more. Help the channel out, help me out, help you out, help other people out. That's kind of how it works. So today I just have a real quick video of tools. So a little bit of update. Just lately been doing a lot of just little jobs here and there. Not a whole lot of video work, you know, kind of stuff for videos. But I'm at the sugar house and I've been doing a lot of wiring. So I have this idea. We started doing a bunch of wiring last year. You know, the sugar house basically isn't finished from when it was built, right? So there's always something that you're like, oh, I'd like to have another light, or I'd like to have another switch, or I'd like to have another outlet, or something like that. And so there's always something to do. So I don't know, a month or so ago, I was like, all right, I'm going to really start working on doing some wiring. It was last year we had the Amish come and they worked on finishing the RO room. It looks great. And then they have the one part of the wall where I can take it apart and I can still get to the wiring to put more wires into the panel box. It works pretty good. So right now, I hear a truck. I had that taken apart and I've been doing wiring. I'm not sure why I hear a truck. But anyway, so I've been working on that, trying to get like some more wiring. So one of the things I ran into the other day was actually a while ago when I bottled syrup, we couldn't run both bottlers. I have the two, what do you call them? The two digiboils. Couldn't use both digiboils on the same circuit without, they kept flipping the breaker. So I thought, well, it'd be nice to have just another outlet over there by the outlet that I want to use and just have it to another circuit. So I went and I bought some black receptacles and I wired them to another breaker. So there's a black one and a white one right side by side. They're both of them that I would use for the digiboils, and they're different circuits. So they're both on a different breaker. Things like that. I want to add some outside lights. We got the on-demand water heater to get going. I got the wiring done to that, but I got to get that hooked up. Just a little bit of things. So one of the things is that electrical, it's really not my thing. I can do it. I don't know if I'm good at it or great at it, but I can do it. And I understand how it works and I can do it. And I could definitely copy what somebody else did. But the tools, right? So you go and you look at tools, you buy tools. So I went one time and I bought a really nice Klein square-headed screwdriver. And I think it must be a number 2 maybe. I don't know. It works for not as much as I thought it would work for. It works for, I think it works really good in the breaker box for actually putting the wires into the breaker. Other than that, it doesn't really work all that great. So just learning what screwdrivers work better, which ones don't, getting some tools that are more customized for what they're doing. So one of the things I don't really like is stripping wires. So let me grab my wire stripper real quick. So actually, so I have just the strippers. These are just Klein strippers. And, they work pretty good, but they have all the different size holes, and you have to look at it very carefully to see that it says 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 10 being on the inside, 18 being on the outside. And you have to, so you're looking in the box, you're trying to get the wire in there. You're trying to figure out which slot it goes to, because if you get the wrong one, it won't cut. You get the one too big, it won't cut right. You get the one too small, it's going to score the wire, possibly cut the wire. They do have the little holes in them that work good for bending the wire, but they don't close or lock or nothing. You know, but they do work, right? So, but the problem is you get it in a box, and I have a box down here that's working at, and you can't see real well, and you're like trying to get the right wire, and it's just not fun. So I thought, man, there's got to be something better. So I looked at one day. I looked at the store a little bit, didn't really. So then I started looking at auto trimmers. So I found a Klein. This is a Catapult 11061 self-adjusting wire stripper. And I'm telling you what, it's really crazy because it's only $28. I have seen ones like this that actually are, you know, have a little bit of a lineman plier kind of capabilities to them that are like $30. So this one is a Klein 11061 Catapult with a K wire stripper, and it automatically adjusts. So when you squeeze it, the teeth come down at an angle, and it automatically adjusts to whatever wire you have. And then when it opens, it strips off the sheathing. And this is a gauge. You can set that to so you only strip off a certain amount. Some people in their reviews, some people like that, some people don't. I kind of like it because that's one of my big things is like how much you strip off when you're going to hook it to an outlet, or you're going to wire nut them together or whatever. It can be a little bit tricky to figure out how much you want to strip off. But the cool thing, it works with just your regular Romex. You stick it in there, and I'm going to turn this around, see if I can show you rather than change the camera. So you get it in there. I'm trying to squeeze it and turn it around at the same time. Get it in there, go like that, and all you do is squeeze, and it comes right off. See that? And then I just have to slide it off by hand. And then all you have to do is you have the paper to deal with. Just peel off the paper, right? Just like that. I'm gonna bend out my white and my black. And then if I want to use a gauge, I just put them in there. Now I have my Romex, obviously it's not sticking out very far. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend it back together, and I'm going to go back and get a little bit longer piece. So obviously you're going to do a box. You're going to have, you know, at least 3 or 4 inches sticking out probably. Just like that. And a nice, look at that, clean cut. I mean, that thing is just perfectly cut. So then you got to bend these out a little bit from each other. And I'm going to use my gauge. I think I adjusted it the other day. And you just turn the little knob to lock it. Stick your black one in there. Clamp down. Pull it up. Oh, didn't quite work. Gotta get the, wasn't down in the bottom. Put it in there like that, and it came right off. And that's like a, you know, I don't know, 5/8, 3/4 inch. About perfect. First time I didn't have the wire down the bottom. And there's the white. Nice clean cut there. And then you just have to take your paper off your ground. But the nice thing about it is that it will work for, you know, I think it's to, you know, says 10 to 20 gauge solid, 12 to 22 gauge stranded, and then it says 12/2 and 14/2 Romex. So this is 14. I think this is 12/2, right? Yeah, 12/2. Somebody the other day, I watched a video where somebody was like, "Well, so it used to be that the colors weren't necessarily, but yellow is supposed to be now. It's supposed to be 12/2. Once in a while, you might run into some that isn't. So I mean, just awesome, right? So if you're working in a box, you just have to get this in there. Now the gauge, you know, might not necessarily work if you're working in a box all the time, but you just loosen up the screw and fold it out of the way. and it's not in the way at all. And if you want to strip off, you want to strip off your Romex, we'll do the other end. Just strip it off back there. Slides right off, just like that. Get your wire out of the way. Then I'm going to put my gauge back up. And I just have the gauge pretty much all the way out, so I'm not real sure why you would do less than that. And all you have to just make sure the wire's in the bottom, and then pull, and it works just like that. Slides right off, just like butter. And I'm gonna tell you what, that is like the best $28 I think I've ever spent. Like, just too cool, right? So I've been watching videos of other people. That's how I came across this. I saw it on Home Depot, and then I watched a couple videos on YouTube, and I was like, there's a different one that I can't remember what it doesn't have that this one has. I can't remember. I think that's the older one. And the other thing is it's not exactly, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it will cut the Romex as well. You kind of got to get a little bit of oomph behind it, but it does cut the Romex. So it's really, what a great tool. I mean, I'm telling you what, $28, probably the best $28 I've spent on a long time. You can never, you buy a good quality tool, you can never go wrong with spending money on a good quality tool. That's just all there is to it. I mean, you can't. What a great tool. So I have some other tools that I will show you when I get ready to use them and actually show you how they work. But for guys like me, I'm a teacher by day, I'm a farmer by night and weekends and summertime, and I have to do things on my own. A lot of times I save money. It's on my own schedule, and just having the tool, that I don't have to borrow this tool and have to this works. This works better, and it's just like, wow, what a time saver this is going to be. So I don't want to borrow tools. I don't want to hire somebody. I just want to do it on my own time. I've got some wiring to do. We're just going to do the wiring. Today is Saturday, December 20th. I was waiting for a delivery at the cabins to come so I could do some insulating over there for the shed. It sounds like maybe that was a truck that I heard. They came down the wrong driveway. I don't know. But, so yeah. And so nights and weekends is when I'm going to be down here. I want to wire up some outside lights, and then a big floodlight for over top of the tanks outside, and finish up my on-demand water heater. And I need to get my tanks moved and fill in the dirt in front of the tanks and move the tanks back, and then basically put spouts on and tap trees, and we're ready to roll. And then I have to test fire the evaporator, which I'm sure will be fine. But other than that, so if I get like a half an hour to come down and do a little bit of wiring, then something like this is going to make that half an hour, count a little bit more than it would have, messed around with other tools. When I also bought a tool pouch, got some other tools in there. I'll be showing some more of that. But, I mean, it's not that hard. And I've watched some videos. I encourage you, YouTube's great. You can watch the videos. There's guys out there that show you electricians that have videos that show you how to do things, new things that are out, difference between outlets, receptacles, this receptacle versus that receptacle. And I mean, it's not rocket science. The biggest thing, is don't mix up your common, right? Don't mix up your black and your white, and always have a ground. I mean, other than that, it's pretty much, it's pretty easy to do. You always put your white on the silver, black on the gold, and always hook your ground up to green. As long as you do those things, you can do it right. And there are tools out there, and we're going to be showing you one that I bought that will make sure that you have a receptacle hooked up the correct way. And I think that's great. And also have one that will help trace wires, which works awesome as well. And you know, they're not all that expensive either. In fact, they're a heck of a lot cheaper than hiring somebody else to come do it, right? But always, follow safety guidelines and things like that. But yeah, do it yourself. Save yourself some money, right? Do it right, but save yourself some money, save yourself some time, and build your own personal, resume, repertoire, whatever you want to call it. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to this video and stay tuned for more from Triple D Farms, Triple D Maple, and Triple D Cabins. And that is the Klein 11061 self-adjusting wire stripper. And they call it, I believe it's called the Catapult with a K, which it doesn't say catapult on it, but that's what it is. Have a great day.